Hello and welcome to S24 Rundown, tracking the stories shaping Nigeria and defining the globe. Short, sharp, and straight to the point. Here is our news in brief. Nigeria has moved closer to decentralizing the policing system following the Senate's passage of the State Police Bill. The constitutional amendment seeks to allow states to establish and manage their own police services alongside the federal police structure. Lawmakers says the reform is aimed at addressing growing security challenges across the country. As the state police bill advances, attention is shifting to issues of funding, oversight, and safeguards against political abuse. The Senate has proposed mechanisms intended to prevent governors from misusing state police powers while maintaining federal emergency intervention authority where necessary. Analysts say the next stage will be critical in determining how effectively the new system functions. Also, President Bola Tinubu has approved a final 6-month tenure extension for the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Adewale Adeniyi. The presidency says the extension will allow him to consolidate ongoing reforms, including implementation of the National Single Window Initiative and other trade facilitation measures. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency has renewed warnings over heavy rainfall and possible flash floods in several parts of the country. Authorities are urging residents in vulnerable communities to remain vigilant as the rainy season intensifies. State emergency agencies have also begun sensitization efforts aimed at reducing the impact of flooding. And finally, on the foreign front, France has confirmed its first Ebola case linked to the current outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Health authorities say the patient, a doctor returning from a humanitarian mission in Congo, was immediately isolated upon arrival in Paris. Officials have commenced contact tracing and insist the risk to the public remain low. The World Health Organization continues to monitor the outbreak, which has affected more than 1,000 people in Central Africa. Now moving on to business news with Karimat Hassan.
Hello and welcome to today's business update. Here are the top stories making headlines in Nigeria and around the world. We begin in Abuja, where preparations are gathering momentum for the 2026 Abuja International Trade Fair. Organizers say the event is expected to attract 100,000 visitors, showcase over 10,000 products, and host around 500 exhibitors. The fair is expected to provide a major platform for businesses to connect with customers, attract investors, and build a strategic partnership, while also strengthening commercial activities in the nation's capital. In the energy sector, Nigeria is stepping up efforts to improve electricity access and support business growth through renewable energy. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, has begun implementing its Net Billing Regulations 2026, a policy that allows electricity consumers generate power through renewable sources such as solar to sell excess electricity back to the national grid. The move is expected to encourage clean energy investment, improve electricity reliability, and create fresh opportunities for homes and businesses to reduce energy costs. Still in the energy space, Nigeria is also pushing to strengthen local renewable energy production. The National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure has signed a major agreement with the Rural Electrification Agency, REA, to promote the local manufacturing of renewable energy technologies. The partnership is aimed at reducing dependency on imported solar equipment, expanding access to off-grid electricity, and boosting local capacity in Nigeria's growing clean energy market. And now to the global news. One of the biggest international business stories today centers on billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk, who has reportedly lost his trillionaire status following a decline in SpaceX share value. The development has triggered fresh conversation in global financial markets, especially among investors monitoring the performance of major technology and innovation-driven companies. It also highlights the volatility of global business valuations and how quickly fortunes can shift in the tech economy. And now that's your business update for today. I am Karimat Hassan. Stay tuned for our next segment.
Welcome back from that break, and now is our next segment, which is our newspaper review segment. And today we will be doing it with Mr. Kabir. Hello, Mr. Kabir. How are you doing? Hello. I'm fine, thank you. It's fine. Hope you're doing great. Okay, now let's get right straight into it, and we'll start with our first headlines, which is. Okay, I think before we go right ahead into our first headlines, we'll go on a quick break. While we'll get back, then we'll get right into our first headlines. Welcome back once again. Let's get right straight into our first headline, which is coming from Daily Trust. And it says, State Police Bill lands in state assemblies. So there's been, I won't say there's been debates about the creation of state police. And we have proponents and opponents saying it is, one side are saying it's good for the federation and the country. The other side is saying it isn't good because there will be an abuse of power and all that. But some people are saying if this state police is being created, is going to curtail a whole lot of insecurity happening in major parts of the country. We would like to have your reaction as regards the creation of state police.
So personally, myself, for state police, I would not say for every good law, there are, backlash, or let me say the other side of enacting that good law, that law, and even executing and putting it into practice.
Exactly.
Instances with state police, it might help curtail some of the insecurities we have, but one can tell that it will not completely, it might not completely eliminate the security problems we've got, because we've got the Nigerian army, we've got the armed forces. They've, at least in their own capacity, fought this criminality and criminal element. And to an extent, you realize that, okay, we've got figures, we've killed this, we've done that, and we'll still come back and still be seeing those same people. An example, Bello Turji over the weekend came out and they were in uniform, police and Nigerian army uniforms. And you can see how issues, the state police itself, it definitely had its own good and bad side, because you're empowering the state governors to recruit people. What happened to, federation allocation accounts, the money they allocate to most states, that's where they'll be recruiting these people from, mostly. What is it that is in place for them? There are states that get more allocation than the others. That means those states will be able to even employ and get equipment or equip this state police or the new recruits and all of those people more than those states that don't get enough allocation and all of those things. So there are ways to look at it. The state governors can abuse that power. In short, not just the state governors, the state commissioners, and there are a lot of things to this state police. And another thing is, a lot of the time, when we bring about security is, and another thing is, a lot of the time when we bring about security is local, actually. The people, we've got the vigilantes and several local security outposts in most
Even
Nigerian
the
states.
individuals
Exactly.
in the community.
What is the government doing to engage these people? We have the JTF and all of that. What are they doing? You would hear of people on their own because they are compassionate to safeguard their own community. They go out of their way. They get guns, even though they are not like the regular AKs and all.
Yeah, like
there are limits to what you
manufactured
can get. To secure, they stay out late to secure their families and their environment.
Community.
Why is the government not engaging those people before even thinking about going to the state police level? Because if you're bringing state police, you should be able to solve the security issue head on and without us having any issue. But hopefully, we don't know yet. We don't know what they have in mind. But I mean, personally, I feel state police, it should not be the way to go. The federal police is still there. The Nigerian army is still there. The Nigerian Air Force is still there. And they've been battling these people.
They give them the power of autonomy, but they're still saying they will still have, or they will still have collaborations from the federal level. Now, let's talk about financing, because most people feel like our police, or let's say our security agencies, especially the police, are not financed properly. So, and you get to find, or you see in most states and in most cases whereby you see state governments giving out vehicles, giving out, I won't say stipends, but aiding the police in able to carry out their duties. So if they're now being given the power of autonomy and being able to get their own commissioners, to employ their own commissioners, don't you think that will still help solve the problem? Because most of the time, this financing and this logistics is coming from sometimes private individuals and sometimes coming from state governors. But then again, when we're talking about this financing, if the state governments have the power to finance them totally, then that's where I feel the power of control will come in.
So this is the thing with the Nigeria as regards finance. People, I would say, siphon a lot of
funds,
public funds, to be very candid, and it's there everywhere. You realize the state government gets more allocation. And when you go to the state, you see that there's nothing to show for it. So how sure are we that they're going to do anything different with the state police? The private individuals fund the Nigerian police. There are instances where I've seen Dangote, you see cars branded with Dangote, this thing given to the police.
Yes.
But in short, there was one around my area, around AYA. It's just parked there. It's more like it's dilapidated. You see policemen there. But that car, what do you think will happen in the States? We have the issue of maintenance, management. We have bad management culture in this country. And it's not just a uniform men, it's a Nigerian team. When we're given the opportunity to do things, instead of doing what we need to do, what we are set out to do, what we are assigned to do, at times we tend to, I don't know whether it's because maybe there's no that element of checks. The authorities don't come to check, or when probably people have people at the higher up that can stop those that are supposed to come and check them from, sanctioning them, they behave anyhow. So the funding is one thing. You can get funding from even international organizations to fund the police and everything. But then how sure are we that when you are getting funding from the federal government or the state government, those people that are giving you the funds will not control you? How sure are we that they will not be subjective, carrying out the duties? How sure are we that they will not turn them to, witch hunters, they'll be sending them after their political opponents and all of those things. So these are the things. There are definitely, state police might address some of these security issues, but I think Nigeria's insecurity or security issues is bigger than
just
the state
policing.
It's bigger than it.
So are you practically an opponent or a proponent? Definitely, you're an opponent of state police.
There are instances where probably it might work, and there are instances where it will not work. Even the recruitment phase would tell, because if you are given, we know how Nigeria is when it comes to employment and unemployment. So recruiting people, would you be giving the appointment to your allies and everything, or it should be the competent, the Nigerians that are willing to protect their community? Are they the ones that will be getting? So these are the things, these are the issues.
Like I said, there's been debates about the state policing and how Nigerians are already foreseeing, like you said, that if the state government is going to be in total control of the police in their state. Definitely, there is going to be a form of oppression. There's going to be a form of form of oppression and being biased and frustrating
even
people's
journalists
efforts.
actually in those particular states, how free would they be? Because the police,
Exactly.
I mean, the state governments have the police commissioner assigned by the federal government. It still follows the state blueprint to at least make sure it secure the state and all of those things. But to an extent, you see that those state governors still have some sort of, leverage. They have some sort of control over what's happening in their states. A typical example was Malam Nasir El-Rufai when he was the governor. You see practical changes when it comes to fighting kidnapping and caste rustling in that state at the time, because there was something he did just for himself, for the purpose of securing the state and all of that. And there are other states that are still grappling and still battling caste rustling, kidnapping, and all of those things. You get?
Yeah. Nicely said. Let's move on to our next headline, and this is coming from Vanguard. It says, FG orders to freeze assets of terrorism financiers. And you can find that right below on their front page. So of recent, the federal government have signed or have directed banks to freeze assets to their personal banks and their businesses to these terrorism financiers, and they've listed out 6 individuals, and they've also listed out 3 bureau de change companies that are terrorizing this. So now Nigerians are saying, why at a time that the US had to point out that, okay, Nigeria is part of people financing terrorism and ISWAP, why is it coming at the time that the US had to point it out? Why didn't they point this out years before now?
So the issue with these terror financiers and all is, I don't think there's a political will to actually, this still boils down to insecurity. To fight this thing. You hear stories like they will say, oh, there are people that are bigger. Nobody's bigger than the government. Sani Abacha said it. He said anything that terrorizes the country for more than 24 hours, the government's hands is in it. So there's a lot to that. There have been people. There was a time someone during Buhari's regime said he was going to name names for those that are financing, and you realize that maybe the person was threatened or something like that. It later went silent. I just feel like for me, our politicians don't have the will to fight this thing. But I said something to someone at some point in time. I was like, when this whole insecurity thing started, it was the Boko Haram, Chibok girls and everything. Why didn't the Nigerian government make that ultimate sacrifice of clearing out that Sambisa bush forest at the time? Because it says a lot, it tells a lot. Once you do that, you are imposing deterrence.
Exactly.
In a way, you are telling people that if you do this, I'm going to take this action. But when you let people do these things freely, they kidnap people freely, roast them, take them to the bush, they even demand ransom. Even there have been rumors that the federal government had paid ransom to criminal elements in this country. And what are you telling others? You're telling them that they can do it and get away with it. The same thing we do with, they said, repentant bandits. As far as I'm concerned, I don't see any bandit as a repentant person. If you have the mind to go point a gun at another person, take them to the bush, demand money, and get money, get paid. Some you even kill
them at the end of the day.
And you're now saying that you are repenting. Repenting for what? The only repentance you can get is go and repent to your God. As far as I'm concerned. Because there's no you do that to someone and you see them roaming the streets. You guys are integrated back to the same community where you've committed atrocities, and you want those people to just forgive and forget. There's more to that. So terror financing, I just believe there's no political will to end that. In short, if we can find a way like they have instructed, hopefully it would work. A lot of the time, they just give instructions, no follow-up, nothing. You realize that it's just on paper. Even our laws, they are just on papers. Executing and bringing it to practicality is nothing to write home about.
I was going to come to that to say, okay, since this is coming at a heated time and people have been clamoring for secure your citizens, one of the major thing or one of your fundamental rights is secure the citizens. Do you think this time around the federal government is going to do the needful? Because like we see, if they are going to use these people for the fact that they came out to list some people, and we saw in the papers or going around the social media, so saying that the EFCC is actually they're actually interrogating the Miyetti Allah's president. So do you think for them to list out these people, they are going to really use them as a deterrent to other people financing terrorism in Nigeria?
There's been cases of EFCC.
Briefly.
Interrogating people and all of those. The issue is they come out, we start interrogating, we don't hear the end of the story.
Exactly.
It end up just dying low. Once, because Nigerians move on a lot, we don't probe our government, we don't probe our law enforcement. You can't even probe them because they feel like they're on top of the world. When they are driving on the road, they want you to give them...
They feel untouchable.
Do you get? So you can't probe the law enforcement. Where is the checks? Who is checking who? The Senate is just there to amplify what the president is saying. The reps too, no difference, and all of those things. There are cases that there's been issues, and these, until we address these issues head on, I don't think we can take this fight against criminality anywhere.
To the last call. Like of my take or my call to our politicians every time I sit on this seat is, since they know the shoe fits, they should do the needful. That's just it. And it's just one call from one citizen and from all citizens: protect us, solve the case of insecurity, and definitely Nigerians will be fine. That is just our one call to the government right now: solve insecurity for us. That's it on Newspaper Review today. Up next is S24 Reports.
Every marriage begins with hope. Promises are made, dreams are shared, futures are imagined. But for the growing number of young Nigerians, the journey to happily ever after is ending sooner than expected.
The marriage is not even being laid on a sound foundation. People now live imperfect lives. Instead of even the person that is marrying the girl coming to tell her the real situation of yourself, you will not come in that way, because most of our girls now, they are much more interested in worldly things. What do you have? What do you possess? They want an easy, already made husband, rather than allowing to start with somebody that would they start the struggle together.
Once held together by family influence, patience, and shared values, modern marriages are increasingly tested by changing expectations and lifestyles.
At times, I want to do their job by bringing up stuff, like or the son will go outside, then another place.
Social media has created a world of carefully curated relationships where comparison often replaces contentment and validation becomes a constant pursuit.
Every church setting, there's what is called marriage counseling, and as an attending couple, you are advised to go through that route, right? So that you get acquainted or abreast, in what you are about to venture into, because marriage is one venture, biblically speaking, is set by God, and so only Him has the blueprint. So if you don't follow the nitty-gritty of that blueprint, you have tendencies of going out of the way. So that is why the counseling is very relevant for every young person to go through. So you are tutored, you are patterned, you are aligned with what you're about to see, because it's one institution that once you venture into it, there's no going back.
Religious leaders say many couples invest heavily in the wedding day, but pay less attention to preparing for the marriage itself.
This spouse, especially, of course, it comes basically from the female part, must have done an act of infidelity, right? Which means must have committed adultery to have warranted or to warrant a divorcement. And that's why you can give a divorcement bill to anybody, but he rounded it up by saying that God hates divorce.
Experts and faith leaders alike point to another concern: the home.
This age of nowadays, you see that maybe the girl and the boy, they have been together. So you see some people say they are up to 5, 6, 7 years in relationship. When you are in 5, 6, 7 years in relationship, then tell me, how maybe I know in that all those time you are in relationship, you are not faithful to each other. Maybe you see this one doing this and that. What is not as a Muslim, maybe as a Christian, you're not supposed to be. You people not supposed to be together before getting married.
Many young adults grow up without witnessing healthy conflict resolution, leaving them unprepared for the realities of long-term commitment.
Experiences, trust.
You have to be faithful to yourselves. If you are not faithful to yourself, I don't think you will go anywhere.
Be faithful to your man, and don't be too much demand.
As divorce rates continue to rise among young couples, the issue extends beyond individual families. It raises broader questions about values, preparation, expectations, and the changing nature of relationships in modern society.
So in Islam, divorce is and should be the last option that a Muslim should think about.
Because successful marriages are rarely built on perfection, they are built on commitment, resilience, understanding, and the willingness to stay the course when the life becomes difficult. I am Sidikat Yusuf reporting for S24 Television.
This is Political Arena on S24 Television. Elections are often seen as major part to political change, but sustainable development goes beyond winning elections. For states like Kogi, long-term progress depends on strong institutions, economic growth, quality education, healthcare, infrastructure, and effective leadership. In this conversation, we will examine what Kogi State needs to achieve sustainable development, the lesson from the past political experience, and how leaders and citizens can work together to build a better future for our dear country, Nigeria. My guest this afternoon is Isa Yakubu Kamal, governorship candidate in the then 2016 Kogi State elections, who contested under the platform of AA Party. Mr. Isa, welcome to Political Arena on S24 Television.
Okay, it's a pleasure.
How can you compare the level of political socialization 2016 when you aspire to be the next governor of Kogi State and the contemporary political socialization now?
To Alhamdulillah for this wonderful station giving me opportunity to express what has been happening in Kogi State politically. Yeah, a lot of things has happened negatively or positively. So what we experienced in 2016 politically is more beneficial than what is happening right now. Like what is happening right now is more selective, no more elective office.
Okay, you're accusing the then governor of Kogi State, Usman Ododo, of being biased.
Yeah, I'm accusing the present governor of Kogi State of being biased politically. Yeah, you thrown an opportunity to all the Kogais to present their candidates of their will. You cannot politically. You need not to force anybody on a community or on a community because of your selfish propagation. You understand? Because in politics, you cannot achieve meaningful development when you enforce your will on people. You allow the people to choose the person of their will, so that they can take him accountable if he failed to develop, or if he failed to his promises.
But some people, our viewers may likely say that maybe because you're speaking from the aggrieved part of yourself.
No, I'm not. I'm speaking the reality. If I'm not speaking the reality, because I'm from the Kogi Central, I'm supposed to be biased. I'm supposed to be biased and support the the present governor, we came from the
Same region.
same region and same senatorial district. But now, no, I have to say the truth so that whoever is listening to me, he will know that I'm speaking right from the bottom of my heart. I'm not speaking on behalf of anybody.
Okay, from the little conversation we had, you seems to be disenchanted with the way the governor of Kogi State is running things, even accusing you of being politically biased, which I believe our viewers are actually out there to at least do the justice. Well, let's go to the second questions. Looking at your experience as a governorship candidate and aspirant, what do you consider the biggest challenge affecting the state in terms of growth?
Yeah, the biggest challenge is the kind of leadership we produce. When you look at them, they don't have the better initiative. They don't know what to do. In their utmost mind is that they want to become governor, they want to become senate, they want to become House of Reps member, they want to become House of
State House of Assembly members.
Yes, State of Assembly member. But if you ask him, what is your aim and objective? You understand? He cannot even emphasize himself. He can't explain himself. The ultimate reasons why people are going into politics is to make money. It's not to develop. Selfish reason, not developmental reasons. That is why when in the state or in federal government level, people normally ask for, what are you coming to do? Which post are you giving to us? They don't ask, which development are you taking to our community?
You mean nowadays politics is more or less is more or less not people are going into politics with the intention of enriching themselves rather not the intention of public service.
Yes, that is the problem we have both national and state level.
Well, how can Kogi State better use its natural resources?
Yes, it's the political will of the leadership in Kogi State to identify what really the problem of Kogi is. One, you know, the potential of in Kogi State mainly is agricultural. We are very rich and we have the fertile land. We have all the states.
Confluence states.
Simply a confluence state. They could have even used the facilities available or the minerals that are available within the Kogi State to develop the Kogi State. Not to even waiting for the national cake.
So you mean once Kogi people have the right person in the position of leadership, Kogi citizens may likely see?
Drastically, I think we'll see differences.
Assuming you're the current governor of Kogi State, what can you do to better education, healthcare, infrastructure for sustainable growth?
Yes, there are many things I can do. One, I will start from primary school.
Those are not your responsibilities.
No?
Those are not your responsibilities.
Yes. Educations and the health and security. If you have these three things, if you achieve these three projects, you are done. When you look at these schools,
so you won't be like other people
I won't be like
that have been constructing flyover all over.
No, flyover is not our problem. It's you build human being. Because you build human being first. The human being that will apply the flyover. You understand? Because when you look at our education in Kogi State, is far lower than anywhere in Nigeria.
So you mean you are actually going into like human capital development instead of infrastructural development?
Human capital development. If you develop a human being, you have developed the whole world. Now we have good roads. We cannot sleep in our houses.
Well, it all boils down to you, the politician.
Yeah, it's because, as I earlier said, the people in the leadership, they don't have political will.
You're still a leader in your own constituency.
I'm a leader in my own constituency, but I have a limit that I can do because, I don't have a government machinery that I can do everything for
Enforce,
anybody.
yeah,
Yes, of course. What I'm doing in my own little way, it is what my personal earning.
Well, let's come down to young people. What role should young people and citizens play in the development of Kogi State?
Yeah, it all bounds to government policy. That's why I said, you see, there's a policy that says, catch them when they are young. You understand? Like globally now, in Nigeria, our youth, the only thing they understand is Yahoo. They want to become a very rich person.
Internet fraud.
Internet fraud, yes. They want to become a very rich person. Nobody is taking how to become a doctor, how to become a physician, how to become a captain. You understand? How to become an industrialist. Their ultimate aim is to become a very rich man.
Due to time, let me go down to my final question.
Okay.
Assuming you have the mantle of leadership, what is your vision for the future of Kogi State? In a nutshell.
Okay. Yeah. Human development, followed by agriculture or infrastructure.
Well, these are your words against your words.
Yes, of course.
Okay. What are your messages to Nigerians ahead of 2027 general elections, especially in this critical moment when the country is not even at peace?
Yes, my advice to the general populace is that go and vote for the person of your choice. Don't vote because of 5,000, 25,000. 25,000 cannot take you more than 15 minutes.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Mr. Kamal. It's really a pleasure speaking to you despite your tight schedule. Thank you so much for speaking to us here on S24 Political Arena.
Thank you very much for having me.
And this is where we draw the curtain of Political Arena on S24 television. Stay tuned for our S24 Sahel report. Thank you and bye for now.
In the heart of Abuja, Nigeria, a quiet transformation is unfolding under the West African sun. A country long defined by oil and gas is now witnessing the steady rise of renewable energy, driven not only by technology, but by women determined to reshape the future of power. At the center of this shift is Nkechi Okenwa, founder of Energy Excel Systems and Solutions Limited. For her, the journey into electrical engineering began in silence, without role models, without precedent, and in a field where women were rarely seen.
As a teenager, choosing the course of study, I had to take on electrical electronics engineering as a course, though I knew it was, a male-dominated course because I never saw any female, studying that course. But that's actually how this whole journey started.
That early decision would shape not only her career, but her mission to bring more women into Nigeria's evolving energy sector. On the ground, change is not theoretical, it is technical, practical, and hands-on. Anita Manuel, a contractor in the oil and gas sector, is part of this transition. She is testing, inspecting, and learning as Nigeria's energy landscape expands beyond fossil fuels. For Anita, the shift towards renewable energy is not just an opportunity, it is a pathway to growth and reinvention.
In Nigeria, I would say that we're not yet in full adoption, right? And that's due to a couple of factors. As compared to countries like Kenya, South Africa, that have been able to get it right in certain structural development, running from like enforced policies, also to clearer pathways in finances. So these are certain factors that influence that Nigeria is still trying to come up to speed in, right? So, however, there's a very high potential in terms of adoption because right now solar is not an option, it's actually a necessity. So I believe in the future, in the coming months and years from now, it will be something that we get very competitive in the market.
But Nigeria's renewable energy transition is not without challenges. Despite growing interest, the country still struggles with policy, consistency, financing gaps, and slow structural adoption.
And what drew me to the initiative is that their objectives aligned with my values and goals too. And I just wanted to expand my business too.
For women like Nkechi Okenwa, the mission goes beyond business. It is about breaking barriers in a sector long dominated by men and creating space for the next generation. Her organization now serves as a bridge, connecting ambition to opportunity in a rapidly evolving industry.
I understand the challenges that comes with, a female being in this male-dominated industry. But, when I look at myself and I can, remembering how I was able to go through, the challenges, my persistence and all of that, I told myself it's possible that so many other women too that have aspiration to make, a difference in their world can also do this.
Across Abuja, the energy conversation is expanding beyond boardrooms and laboratories. Solar energy is no longer a luxury, it is becoming a necessity. From rural mini-grid installations to urban renewable systems, Nigeria is slowly redefining how it powers its future. As Nigeria faces growing energy demands, a new generation of women engineers and entrepreneurs is stepping forward. They are not only participating in the energy sector, they are transforming it. The future of power in Nigeria is being rewritten, one solar panel at a time.
Welcome to Security Update on S24 Television. I am Gloria Atta, and here are the latest developments across Nigeria's security landscape. To start with, a high court in Sokoto State has sentenced 3 men, including a Nigerian national, to death by hanging after convicting them on terrorism and arms proliferation charges. The convicts were arrested by the Department of State Services in June 2025 over alleged involvement in cross-border crimes, arms trafficking, and terrorism. The ruling follows a series of recent convictions secured by the DSS, including death sentences handed to an arms carrier in Katsina, 4 suspects linked to the Owo Church attack, and a kidnap and murder convict in Kogi State. In Zamfara State, troops of Operation Fansanyama have arrested a suspected terrorist logistics supplier during a stop-and-search operation along the Sokoto-Gusau road. Soldiers recovered 150 pairs of combat boots, tactical equipment, electric shockers, tear gas, communication gadgets, and other items believed to be in the operational capacity of bandits and terrorists in the northwest. Meanwhile, troops of the Nigerian Army have arrested a suspected drug trafficker in Kogi State and seized about 235 kilograms of suspected cannabis. The suspect was intercepted at a snap checkpoint along the Lokoja-Abuja highway by troops of the 176 Guards Battalion. The exhibits and suspect have since been handed over to the NDLEA for further investigation and prosecution. And finally, in Abia State, police have arrested 2 men accused of impersonating operatives of the NDLEA after a viral video showed them assaulting and handcuffing a tricycle rider in Umuahia. Investigators say the suspects allegedly used an anti-drug advocacy platform as a cover to conduct illegal operations and extort members of the public. Police have assured residents that the suspects will face diligent prosecution and warned against impersonating security agencies or taking the law into one's hands. And that's our security update for today. Remember, stay informed, stay vigilant, and continue to support lawful efforts aimed at keeping our communities safe.
Hello and welcome to Tech World Updates, where we discuss technology, innovation, and digital world. I am Aisha Muhammad. Here's what's shaping ICT from Nigeria to the global stage. We begin in Nigeria, where the race to become a major player in artificial intelligence is gathering pace. At the Microsoft-hosted AI Summit Nigeria 2026 in Abuja, the National Information Technology Development Agency (NITDA) unveiled its vision of positioning Nigeria as one of Africa's leading AI hubs. The agency identified public trust, digital literacy, and homegrown innovation as critical pillars for building a sustainable artificial intelligence ecosystem. The announcement reflects Nigeria's growing ambition to move beyond technology consumption and become a creator of digital solutions capable of competing on the global stage. Still in Nigeria, another important conversation is shaping the future of digital economy. The Nigerian Women in Information Technology (NIWIT) has concluded its 11th national conference in Abuja, with stakeholders calling for stronger policies to increase female participation in technology and innovation. Industry leaders say empowering more women in STEM, entrepreneurship, and digital leadership will not only improve inclusion, but also unlock a wider pool of talents needed to drive the country's digital transformation. And from national innovation to continental integration, as Africa prepares for a series of major technology summits, policymakers and industry executives are emphasizing that digital transformation can no longer happen in isolation. Experts say the next phase of Africa technology growth depends on interoperability, ensuring that digital systems, payment platforms, data framework, and infrastructure can communicate seamlessly across borders. They argue that regional coordination will be essential if Africa is to fully realize the opportunities presented by artificial intelligence, digital trade, and the broader digital economy. Turning now to the global stage, the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance, comprising the United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, has issued a rare joint warning over the future of cyber threats. Security agencies say advances in artificial intelligence could soon enable cybercriminals to launch highly sophisticated attacks capable of overwhelming existing corporate and government security systems. The warning highlights a growing concern that AI is becoming both a powerful tool for innovation and a potential weapon in the hands of malicious actors. And finally, investment in AI-powered healthcare continues to accelerate. Global technology investor Pulsus has injected $460 million into European digital health company Alan, boosting the firm's valuation and expanding its AI-driven healthcare services. Analysts say the move demonstrates how artificial intelligence is increasingly reshaping industry far beyond technology, from finance and education to healthcare and public services. And that's it on today's Tech World Update, where innovation meets impact and the future stays in focus. Do stay with us as Entertainment News Update is up next with Khadija Mohammed. Thank you and bye for now.
The cameras are rolling, the stars are shining, and the gossip mills are working overtime. It's time to dive into the biggest stories making wave. And this is your entertainment update for today. I am Khadija Mohammed. Starting with the Afrobeat superstar, Davido has announced a brand new single titled I Know Who I Be, which is scheduled for release on June 26, 2026. The track features Jazz World and GLCJ, with the single teasing fans on social media as anticipation built ahead of the drop. Industry watchers say the release could be one of the biggest Afrobeat debut of the month. And from a highly anticipated music release to another Nigerian star making headlines globally, the Grammy-winning singer Tems is once again drawing international attention after recent engagement highlighting her growing influence beyond music. And reports show she recently participated in a youth-focused event alongside former U.S. First Lady Michelle Obama, further cementing her status as one of Nigeria's most impactful global cultural ambassadors. And now, let's move from Nigerian to global entertainment stage. Apple is planning to significantly expand its entertainment offerings, according to senior executive Eddie Q. The company says it intends to produce more films and television content for both streaming and theatrical release. The announcement comes as Apple continues building on the success of production. And that's your entertainment update for today. From Davido's upcoming release and Tems' growing global influence to Apple's major entertainment expansion, the industry continues to evolve, both at home and abroad. Stay tuned for more verified entertainment updates. And coming up next is Sport News with Steven after the break.
Hello sports fans, welcome to your latest sports update, packed with World Cup drama, stunning upsets, and exciting news from Nigerian athletics. We begin in Mexico, where history was made as South Africa qualified for their first World Knockout stage for the very first time. After losing their opening match to Mexico, many had written off Bafana, but they refused to give up. In a tense winner-takes-all clash against South Korea, South Africa delivered when it mattered most. Tapelo Maseko became the national hero, scoring the decisive goal in the second half to seal a famous 1-0 victory. South Korea threw everything forward, even bringing on captain Son Heung-min after halftime, but South Africa stood firm. The result means Bafana will now face co-host Canada in the last 32, while Mexico finished top of the group with a perfect 9 points. Over in Miami, Brazil sent a strong message to the rest of the tournament with a dominant 3-0 win over Scotland. The star of the show was once again Vinicius Jr. The Real Madrid winger scored twice, taking his World Cup tally to 4 goals in 3 matches and moving firmly into the Golden Boot race. Mateus Cunha added a 3rd goal as the 5-time world champions cruised into the knockout round as Group C's winner. There was also a special moment for Brazilian fans as Neymar made his long-awaited return to international football after more than 2.5 years away from the national team. Meanwhile, Morocco fought back twice to defeat Haiti 4-2 in one of the most entertaining games of the tournament. Despite conceding 2 surprise goals, the Atlas Lion showed resilience through Achraf Hakimi, Ismail Sabiri, Sofani Rahimi, and Gesmi Yassin. The victory secured qualification, although Mexico finished second behind Brazil on goal difference. And finally, attention turns to athletics as the Athletics Federation of Nigeria has officially opened camp ahead of the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. 29 athletes have been invited to Abuja, including sprint stars Favour Ashe, Kansola Ajayi, Israel Okon, and Udodi Onuzurike. The women's team is headlined by world record holder Tobi Amusan alongside long jump star Ese Brun and several national champions aiming to shine on the international stage. With the Commonwealth Games just weeks away, Team Nigeria is gearing up for another strong campaign. And that's your sports updates. I am Stephen Elebo, bringing you the biggest story from the world of sports. Stay tuned for more actions. Coming up next is PG News.
Una welcome my country people to Pidgin Tori on top S24 rundown, where we dey carry Nigerian matter, come up from grammar, enter with me and you go feel understand. Like this, Nigeria don ready to start state police as the Senate don finally pass the bill to change the constitution. This new law means say states go fit set up and control their own police side by side with the federal police structure wey already dey ground. The lawmakers talk say they do this change because they won't handle all the heavy security challenges and bad boys where they disturb the peace inside the country. How they go get money and control state police? Now the big argument where they ground now. As the state police bill they move forward, the matter don't change to how they go find money run the thing. Who go check their work and how governors no go take use and oppress political enemies. The Senate talk say they don't arrange some ways where the governors no go take use the state police play rough play. They can add say federal government go still get power to enter inside the matter anytime wey kasala wan burst. People wey dey look the matter talk say this next stage na im go show if the new police arrangement go fit help us stop insecurity or not. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu don sign paper to allow the BC talk say this extension go give Adeniyi time to finish all the work wey he don start. The work include the National Single Window Program wey go make business and clearing of goods for border and port dey easy. And the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, don blow whistle again say they dey warn people say heavy rain don start and flood dey come for many states inside the country. The government dey beg people wey dey stay inside areas where water dey stay, make they look out and make they dey careful as the rainy season don dey gain level. Emergency management groups for different states can start to tell people wetin to do, make flood no spoil their property and make water no carry people go. And for inside Obodo Oyibo tori, France government don confirm say they don see their first Ebola case wey join hand with the heavy outbreak wey been happen for Congo. The health people for France talk say the patient na doctor wey go help Ebola people for Congo and they don quickly separate them from other people. Officials don start to trace everyone wey touch and wey near the doctor, but they talk say make citizens no fear because the danger dey low as the World Health Organization WHO don chook hand for the matter cause the sickness don already catch past 1,000 people for Central Africa. Our story today na sharp and na here we go hang out. Till we meet again, make una dey alright. My name na Sidika Yusuf.
Sidika right there with the pidgin version of our news. And this brings us to the end of S24 Rundown.